Resident Evil has proven itself to be one of the most durable franchises in the games industry. Even entries that its biggest fans reject sell extremely well, and its jump perspectives and mediums with nary a scratch. It's fair to wonder if there will ever come a breaking point where it's changed so much from its original vision that it translates into lost revenue. Resident Evil Village tests this theory with its focus on vampires and werewolves at the expense of The Walking Dead. In Resident Evil 7, Ethan Winters survived a Texas Chainsaw Massacre-style family retreat to rescue his girlfriend Mia. As Village begins, Ethan has settled into a domesticated life with Mia and their newborn Rose when the family gets an unexpected visit from Chris Redfield. He shoots Mia dead, beats Ethan unconscious, and takes the baby.
Mia!
When Ethan comes to, he finds himself in a small hamlet in Romania, hell-bent on saving his daughter.
Hey, wait, do you mean Rose? Is she here?
Rose! Rose, yes.
To do so, he must blast his way through a murderer's row of lieutenants before taking on the lead witch, Mother Miranda.
Silence! My decision is final.
The base structure of the plot is solid, but common sense eventually gives way to excess and bluster. It creates plot holes and implausible moments, but there are just enough unexpected twists to offset the nonsense. The story's strength is how it develops Ethan as a character. You're shown that he's not what he appeared to be, as the disparate threads of both games are neatly tied together.
3, 2, 1, showtime!
Resident Evil Village's game design is a throwback. Beat an enemy, get an object, take the object somewhere, and unlock the next linear path.
It's for a child who isn't even here.
What the hell do...
Most players will consume the vast bulk of its content without even trying. There's a proper mansion to work through, a dilapidated factory, a swampy region, and a large haunted house, but not enough enemy variety to fill them. The traditional arsenal includes different ammo types for a little extra punch. If funky bullets aren't enough, there's a merchant named Duke who will let you upgrade weapons, purchase items, and complete recipes for buffs. You can truly build Ethan into the exact type of slayer you want him to be. There's also a single-player option called Mercenaries, where a map is flooded with enemies and you must kill them all within a time limit. It's a novelty at best that's driven more by memorizing spawn locations than skill. Resident Evil Village has very limited connectivity. You can visit the official website to see campaign completion times sorted by difficulty setting, and that's it. An online multiplayer suite called Reverse is coming, but it's already been delayed once. When it does launch, it will include an all-star cast of heroes and villains from all the games in the franchise. Once you die, you become a villain hunting the other players. Creating games that straddle 2 generations of hardware has resulted in few of them actually reaching their full potential on PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series. Resident Evil Village is one of those games. It's easily the best looking Resident Evil ever, and a noticeable step up from Resident Evil 7. But we've now seen what these machines are truly capable of, and it falls short. The environments are appropriately spooky and unsettling. The character designs are also great, but the illusion that the hair shading is supposed to create never materializes. It's slathered in ray tracing and runs well in 4K, but its small environments should help it achieve far more.
I believe Cassandra caused all this mess.
There are plenty of things that go bump in the night in Resident Evil Village, and they all sound terrifying. Enemy battle cries will send shivers down your spine and your neighbors running for cover. While the music certainly helps set the tone, we've enjoyed playing the game with it turned off just as much. The voice acting is mostly great, though some characters require subtitles to understand what they're saying. When troubles do arise, it's mostly due to the script.
Man blood.
Resident Evil Village ditches the VR helmet, yet still persists with the first-person perspective. This time, it's a voluntary choice. Aiming is quick, with a snappy and generous aim assist, but pulling up your gun to fire, switching between weapons, and reloads take an extra beat or two than you're used to. It's factored into the gameplay via enemy attack patterns, frequency, and speed, so it appears to be intentional. Ethan never feels like he's running all that fast despite an infinite sprint. Turning is painfully slow, but it encourages you to dip into some of the more advanced techniques like shooting enemy legs to stagger them or pushing them away and performing melee attacks. The first-person view is polarizing for longtime fans. Capcom wants you to believe that you are Ethan versus just playing as him. Thanks to detailed maps, making headway in Village doesn't present much of a challenge. Typewriters are tucked around the levels for hard saves, and there are generous checkpoints to keep retreading known ground to a minimum. A currency called Lei gates almost all the upgrades. If you like to root around and kill a lot of enemies, you'll find yourself flush with cash. This almost eliminates the need to conserve ammunition, which cranks up the action at the expense of tension. On its normal difficulty setting, Village doesn't put up much of a fight, and regardless of the difficulty setting, the challenge is uneven. One of its most difficult sections is very early on. Once you defeat a boss, there's no going back to its lair. If you miss something, you'll have to play the campaign again to get it.
Curse you!
Clocking in at around 10 hours depending on your skill level. When the credits roll, expect to want more. There's a New Game Plus with multiple difficulties and modifiers you can unlock that quickly turns it into a fun toy to fiddle with. Mercenaries mode has just 8 missions across 4 different environments, so its staying power is limited. The reverse multiplayer mode will eventually be added, but who knows just how good it will be. Resident Evil Village is a huge departure from the legacy games in the series, embracing the broader supernatural creature mythos and playing in first person. It works because everything else has been reverse engineered around these constructs. Its biggest strength is that it teleports the player to someplace convincingly foreign, strange, and terrifying. If video games are a great way to escape, Resident Evil Village is an embodiment of that ideal.